Welcome to The Explainer. Our whole goal here is to take complex topics and make them really clear and engaging. And today, we're decoding the incredible mystery of dreams. So, what if those nightly trips you take aren't just your brain cleaning house? What if they're actually profound messages? In this explainer, we're going to look at things from a spiritist perspective to see if we can uncover the hidden truths behind your dreams and maybe even unlock some secrets your subconscious is trying to tell you. Okay, so before we can really jump into the spiritual side of dreams, we've got to lay a little groundwork. And that starts with an idea you might already know from psychology. The idea that there's this huge, hidden world running the show right under the surface of our awareness. You're looking at a quote from the one and only Carl Jung, a true pioneer in psychology. And what he was saying here was pretty radical for his time. He basically argued that everything we're consciously aware of, our thoughts, our feelings, you name it, is just the tiny, visible tip of a massive, hidden mental world. And this iceberg analogy, it's perfect for showing the sheer scale of it. I mean, think about it for a second. Your breathing, your reflexes, those gut feelings you get, all your habits, all of that is being run by that huge, submerged 95%. So the unconscious mind isn't just some dusty old attic where memories are stored. Nope. It's the engine room, and it's actively shaping pretty much everything we are and everything we do. All right, now this is where things get really interesting. Spiritism takes this whole psychological idea and just blows it wide open. It suggests that the submerged part of that iceberg, that 95%, isn't just from this life. It's way, way older and infinitely bigger than we can even imagine. So let's break this down. On one hand, you've got the classic psychological view. Your unconscious mind is basically a personal archive, a collection of memories and feelings from this lifetime. But then you look at the Spiritist view, and it's something so much more profound. It's saying the unconscious isn't just a product of your current life. It is the immortal spirit. It's a living, breathing record of every single life you have ever lived. And of course, this whole idea really hinges on reincarnation, right? The core concept is that this life we're living right now, it's just one chapter in a much, much longer book. And every single thing we experience, every lesson we learn, it isn't just stored in our brain cells. It's recorded in our eternal spirit. And when we sleep, well, that's when those memories can bubble up to the surface. Okay, so if our immortal spirit is like this massive cosmic library filled with all our past experiences, the big question is, how do we get a library card? How do we actually access all that information, especially when we're just asleep? This brings us to a really key concept in Spiritist teachings, the perispirit. The easiest way to think about it is like a go-between, a subtle, energetic body that connects our physical body to our immortal spirit. It's basically the vehicle our soul uses to operate, whether it's inside our physical body or out. So here's how it all supposedly works step by step. First, our physical body falls asleep. Then our spirit, using that perispirit as its vehicle, can partially detach. Now, this isn't a full separation. That's what happens when we die. It's more like a temporary release, a loosening of the ties. And in this much freer state, the spirit can travel, it can meet other spirits, or it can dive deep into its own memories. And what we call a dream, that's just our brain trying to make sense of it all when we wake up, piecing together the fragmented, symbolic memories of that spiritual journey. This quote here is just fascinating. It's a first-hand account from someone describing what happened right after they passed away. They talk about this life review, where their entire life played back like a movie. It just goes to show how deeply every single thing is recorded in our spirit. And those dreamlike journeys we take every night, you could think of them as little mini previews of that same process, tapping into that very same eternal record. And these experiences aren't always just about remembering the past. Sometimes they're active, real-time communications. There's this incredible documented account from 1852 about a man who received a sudden, urgent spiritual message. It said, "Go home, your son is sick, leave immediately or you will arrive too late." So he literally ran, caught the very last train, and tragically, the message was spot on. It just shows that these interactions can be real-time communications with very, very real consequences. Okay, so we've looked at the how, the mechanism behind these spiritual dreams, but now let's get to the really big question, why? If these are actual spiritual journeys and communications, what's the point? What's the ultimate purpose for us in our day-to-day lives? And asking that why question really changes everything, doesn't it? All of a sudden, dreams aren't just this random, weird byproduct of sleep. They become a vital, active part of our spiritual growth. They're not just background noise, they're targeted signals that we're actually meant to decode. When you look at it this way, dreams become this amazing toolkit for personal growth. Think about it. They can give us deep self-knowledge by showing us patterns from our past lives. They can deliver guidance and warnings, like that story we just heard. And maybe most importantly, they can bring our unresolved issues and traumas to the surface. Not to scare us, but to finally give us a chance to face them and to heal. I mean, it's easy to see the point of a beautiful, inspiring dream, right? But what about nightmares? What's their purpose? Well, from a spiritist perspective, those recurring, painful dreams are often our own conscience trying to get our attention. They're basically big flashing signs telling us, hey, there's an unresolved issue here. Maybe a past action we need to fix or a moral debt we need to pay. They're not just scary stories, they're calls to action. But here's the crucial part. This whole journey inward, this deep dive into our own spirit, it's not just for us. It has an outward purpose. The goal isn't to get lost in endless self-analysis. The real point is to break free from the prison of our own narrow point of view so that we can better serve and connect with the people around us. So we'll leave you with this to think about. The next time you wake up from a really vivid dream, maybe instead of just shrugging it off, you could pause and ask, what is that immortal part of me? The part that's seen and done so much, trying to tell me? What message is waiting for you just beneath the surface of your consciousness? What will you listen for tonight?